What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. I want to talk about Ryan Garcia and the situation at the post conference. Ryan Garcia went in that ring and fought Tank this past Saturday, and it doesn't make a difference what anybody has to say about the fight, what they had to say about the fight. People feel like Ryan Garcia was faking. Now, I don't see a reason for him to fake like the punch hurt. They feel like he could have got back up to his feet. Now, I did notice that when he was going down, Tank was running over to him. Tank could have actually continued to hit him until he actually took the knee. But even after when he took the knee, he looks up and he goes down. Tank is yelling, "Yo, get up, get up." And he shook his head no. Now, maybe he could have got to his feet, but maybe he felt like he's not going to be able to defend himself, once he gets to his feet properly. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I don't care how he lost. You win as a team, you lose as a team. After you go back, if you feel like you want to, "Yo, Ryan, what was you doing? What was that?" Then you handle it that way. They completely abandoned Ryan Garcia. And they being Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, and Joe Goosen. They were nowhere to be found. Hey, but Gomez is there. So what? Oh, he's the guy that we sent out, to. So Bernard and whoever, they got their heads together to come with that nonsense. He's the one who's in charge of all of that, and he went out as a representation of Golden Boy. Nobody was there to talk to no damn Gomez. But let me say, we all know that that's BS. Because had Ryan won that fight, do you think that Oscar, Bernard, and Goosen wouldn't have been out there? And his main excuse was it wasn't about them. It was about Ryan. They didn't want it to turn to a circus. Well, if Ryan had won, would you guys have turned it to a circus? I mean, Floyd was there. People didn't realize it. Floyd was there. Ellaby was there. Calvin Ford was there. This has nothing to do with you, Oscar and Goosen, but you guys wouldn't shut up during the whole press conference. Yeah, Ryan's a killer. He turned into a killer. This guy's, Tank's going to be surprised. He's going to see something different. He got way more than just a left hook. Ryan is a complete fighter. Ryan has way more. I know everything you guys had to say. Bernard even went so far. Okay, and I'm talking about Bernard because whatever video De La Hoya made, I didn't see that. I didn't see Goose and shit. But I saw Hopkins, so I'm speaking on that. And regardless, at the end of the day, y'all made a conscious decision to not be there. So the same way you saying Gomez is a representation of Golden Boy, so are you. So you're speaking on behalf of Goosen and De La Hoya also. Well, he said that it had nothing to do with you guys. You put your hands on Tank. Tank slapped your hand down, told you, "Get the fuck off me, don't touch me." And you tell Tank, "Yo, I'm about that life." And that's when you see Tank go, "I don't give a fuck. Don't put your fucking hands on me," right? So you're making yourself involved. But when it gets to the point where everything that you guys was building up to, it crumbled. I see disappointment. I see anger and embarrassment. Once again, Golden Boy folds when Floyd Mayweather is involved on the other side. Whether it was Floyd beating De La Hoya's ass, whether it was, Floyd's fighters beating Golden Boy fighters, once again, whatever. And it's like you guys make it about you. Listen, Ryan Garcia went in there. He did what he thought he could do. He did, and basically, when we were saying Tank is the more experienced fighter because he's been in, different situations, more so in better fights than Ryan. But you guys believe this bullshit narrative, whether it's Eddie Hearn or anybody else, Teddy Atlas, whoever talking about neither guy has really fought anybody. You talking about a fucking 5-time 3-weight division champion, and you guys are saying he fought nobody. But it's funny because, like I said, all the Tank former opponents, when they fight somebody else, all of a sudden they're monsters, they're killers. Respect to them. But when they fight Tank, all of a sudden they're nobodies. Well, Ryan Garcia was the one with the weak resume. And I read something where people were saying shit like Ryan Garcia was every bit as good as Sugar Ray Leonard was when Sugar Ray was 23, 24, whatever, however he is. That, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Well, out of everything you said to build him up, to build his fight up, as I said, you win as a team, you lose as a team. You guys made that decision without Ryan. Because for me to put myself in that situation and I lose a damn fight somehow, and my team going to send somebody else as a representation, but you're not going to come out there with me? Or if I won, you guys would be there. Nah. I think for Ryan, I'm going to say this for Ryan. Ryan, as a fighter, can't let this get him down. Now, he claimed he had mental health issues at some point. If that would be the case, well, this is something that would rub him the wrong way. And my time of need, my team abandons me. Let's make a comparison to something. And they said they did it because they didn't want to make a circus show. They didn't want to take attention from Ryan. Wait. Remember when Michael Moorer was fighting and he wasn't listening to Teddy Atlas, and Teddy Atlas was pleading with this guy to just do what he's telling him to do, and Michael Moorer wouldn't do it? And remember when Michael Moorer came back to the corner, Teddy Atlas was sitting in the audience, just sitting there? And basically it's like, I'm giving him instructions, he's not listening. So, okay, it's obvious he doesn't care about what I'm saying. I want him to realize on his own. Maybe this will motivate him. It worked because he went out the next round and did what Teddy was telling him to do. But why did Teddy leave the corner? Frustration, aggravation, anger, embarrassment, possibly some embarrassment, okay? Because he's not listening. He's watching his fighter go in there and struggle when he shouldn't, okay? But at the end of the day, it's not about you. But my point, the purpose of why he walked away from that corner wasn't because, hey, man, this dude is doing everything I'm telling him to do. He don't need me. Let me go sit down and chill. No. It wasn't a good vibe that made him go and sit away from him out in the audience, right? Well, same thing. They can say what they want to say. Ryan also needs to think, can he trust Golden Boy? Do he really want to go forward doing business with these guys who abandon him when he loses? You cost my brand money. We thought we believed in you. We did all this talk, and I'm hearing all this nonsense about how De La Hoya wanted him to have 2 fights before he fought Tank. All this bullshit about, he had a mole in his camp and was coming back telling Tank everything. Don't you know that shit has been happening in boxing since the very beginning? Informants going back and forth, even in your open workouts or whatever, right? Is it cool? No. But Ryan's not the first victim of it. Can we say somebody never did it to Tank before, or whoever? That's been going on forever. So even if you saw when they was on that live stream or whatever you want to call it, and it was Tank and one of his people was talking and to Ryan, and Ryan's driving in the car in the video, and he's saying, you didn't get stopped in training and all that, and Ryan's denying it. They going back and forth. So what? None of that shit means nothing. So that means Ryan know. But here's the thing. Then I see the guy that the so-called, I guess, the sparring partner. I don't know if he's Asian or whatever, but he's saying, I hurt you in sparring. I apologize. That would be to me some sarcasm. Because if you did hurt him in sparring, right? What does that have to do with the fight? It's not like Ryan was injured. Like, don't try to make it seem like, he went into the ring with broken ribs or something. So that video, it's like, kind of goofy shit is this, man? Okay. All of this stuff that people are going to use to make videos and monetize off of, it doesn't mean shit. Okay? Ryan Garcia didn't go into the ring with a fucking injury. He went into the ring and he agreed. I don't want to hear anything about the rehydration clause, that bullshit. You don't agree to something, then bitch about it after you agree to it. You're that confident, then hey. And, when people start trying to play this whole, yeah, but I was thinking, wait a minute, was that guy talking about it? Okay, so he got hurt in sparring. Big fucking deal. If he got rocked to the body, don't say that's the reason why Tank was able to hurt him, like he hit him in the spot that he was injured in, because that would mean he was injured. Sugar Ray Leonard admitted out of his own mouth, he got knocked out in sparring before he went that same week of the Marvin Hagler fight. And he said that it was the best thing that happened to him in that sense because he was going to go in the ring and brawl with Marvin Hagler. But when he got knocked out by a sparring partner, you know what? It made him change his tactic that I'm going to box. Let me use my head. Let me not go in there off ego like he did in the first Duran fight. Ain't the first time. Shit, we seen the footage is right here. We seen Oliver McCall drop Mike Tyson in sparring. And so what does all that mean? Big deal. So I'm not going to make separate videos about each one of these little stupid details. It's just worthless. The guy, whoever he is, whether it meant something or not, I don't know, and I really don't even care. And Ryan never responded to it. Now, like I'm saying for Ryan, what you don't need to do is start making excuses. Just take the L, learn from it, watch your own videos, watch the guys you fought, watch your potential opponents, okay, and understand what you've been doing. And like I said, even understand what you've been winning with, okay? All of it. Because there's things that you do wrong that you've been getting away with as well. Look at what those things are. Study all of that shit. Not just the fights you know, not just this one loss, but the fights that you've won. That's how you get better. Studying not just your opponents, but studying you. Remembering why you did what you did. Understanding everything. You know what? I could add this to that. That's how you improve on you as well, okay? And then two, Ryan said he's going to 140. That's what he said at the post conference. He said he's going up to 140. Okay. Let me tell you something, even in that, okay? And let's look at this. Raleigh keeps saying he's going to 140, but yet he keeps campaigning at 135 and has a fight coming up at 135. And it's saying eventually he and Ryan and Teofimo will wind up fighting at 147. Okay? Whatever. One thing you got to understand about Tank, okay, that people are overlooking as well. Tank went up to 140 and fought a champion and took his belt. Teofimo went up and fought two meatballs. We don't know what Ryan's going to do when he's going to go up, but I'm pretty sure more than anything he's going to test the waters. I don't see him going up and the first fight is like with a Josh Taylor or a Regis Prograde or somebody like that. For Ryan Garcia, that's a crushing thing, not just the loss, but to see how your team collapsed and just abandoned you. I would really think about my future, like, do I really want to stay with Golden Boy? Because they was let down, they was disappointed. And that's so unfair. And Oscar should be the last person to fucking want to feel some kind of way about him not getting up because Bernard Hopkins knocked his ass out with a body shot the same way, and he was rolling from left to right on the floor, hitting the canvas and everything, and people said that he was faking, that he knew he couldn't win, and he just wanted a way out. And I'm pretty sure you know that a lot of people are saying the same things about Ryan. Okay? It's not about making excuses. Things do legitimately happen. Only Ryan knows if he truly could have continued. I'm not saying he couldn't get to his feet, because, yeah, he got up after the 10 count, and after the referee hugged him and waved it off, yeah, he walked to his corner, but that doesn't mean he was still able to fight. Now, Tony Bellew, chimed in and said that it's easy to quit. You quit once, that means you'll do it again, right? Different people. Antonio Tarver, he spoke. He said, everybody, just different guys. Every one of these guys have suffered a loss one way or another, and they couldn't overcome the adversity. Remember Antonio Tarver talking about weight draining clause. When he fought Bernard Hopkins, it was said that because he did the Rocky movie, that he was up to 214 pounds. He denied everything. He denied everything. You're dumb enough to think that I would let myself balloon up to 214 pounds. Bernard Hopkins is going to see come fight night, blah, blah, blah. And you know what's so funny about the Antonio Tarver situation? Is because the first thing he did after he got his ass whooped, he starts talking about, well, he was, overweight and he had to cut weight and he felt weak because he lost so much weight. Oh, you shot down Roy Jones for saying the same exact thing when we know he gained 25 pounds and then came back down and was weak. But it wasn't true when Roy said it. It's true when you say it about yourself, though. See how quick people are to want to forget history, want to forget what they did or didn't do in their careers. And that's his excuse, was that he was weight drained. Well, nobody told you to go up to 214. You took a movie role. That's what the role required. You accepted. Okay. Just accept the fact that I beat your ass. Okay. Anthony Joshua, who everybody said something wasn't right with AJ. Something definitely wasn't right. So then we get word that he was concussed by Joey DeWaco. What did everybody start saying? Oh, well, he should have took the fight. I agree. But he took it, right? But you can't say he's making an excuse as to why he lost. But you notice they never bring that up, that he was concussed. And then we have Sarafina. She's the one that brought it all out and said that, yeah, Joey DeWaco called us and told us, tell Jarrell Miller, don't worry about nothing. Easy fight. I concussed Anthony Joshua. Didn't come from AJ. He refused to say anything. He just kept saying the better man won. But everybody was saying something definitely was wrong. Even Wilder was saying something was wrong. Remember how Wilder was blinking his eyes when he took off his mask and you could tell something was wrong. Wait. Something was wrong with you, Wilder. But AJ was making an excuse. Something was wrong because somebody put the what do you call it, the heebie-jeebies or whatever the hell he called it. Somebody put a curse on you. Your costume was too heavy. You had a legit reason. But AJ was faking. No, AJ was just scared. That's what it was. He was nervous. He was scared. Okay, see, everybody has a legit reason except for the next person. So let's not forget, we saw Bernard Hopkins get punched out the ring. We all saw him get punched out the ring, fall straight back, his feet in the air, went straight back. His hands and arms broke the fall, and he went back. Well, he could have released, because of the angle going down, he could have lied and said he hurt his back or he hurt his head. He gets up talking about he hurt his ankle. You know how many times we ran that video back and his ankle didn't clip anything? The steps next to it, the ring apron, nothing. How'd you hurt your ankle? Oh, my ankle's swole. We didn't see your ankle. We just hear you talking. But again, you lied to all of us. Like we can't see what just happened to you. No, you got punched in the face and you flew out the ring. You didn't get pushed. You said you got pushed. No. Hopkins is the same man. Believe it or not, I could get down to 147 and fight Mayweather. Oh, we can get a catch weight. And you bitching about a catch weight? And you, who was fighting that light heavyweight, was so thirsty trying to use Floyd's name to get to somebody you can get down to 147. Or we can be at a catch weight. Yeah. But yet, Tank was trying to weight drain Ryan. You see all the talking. So they're embarrassed, not so much because Ryan lost. Yeah, because Ryan lost, and it's like, okay, Golden Boy lost again to Mayweather. Okay, and Ellaby and all them. But all the crap that came out of their mouths. People talk about betting their houses. I'm betting all my money. I'm betting, yeah, right? I think Ryan Garcia is a part of a team that's not trustworthy. He should consider going somewhere else. This has to be a lesson learned for him that, hey, I went in there, I wanted this fight, I lost. When we were saying, well, at least me, speaking for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but I just felt like Tank was the better fighter. And I said, I don't see any reason for this fight to go the distance. I think Tank should get Ryan out of there. Oh man, you hating on Ryan. Oh, just watch and see what happened. Where y'all at now? You're hating on someone for simply speaking your opinion. I don't give a shit what you think anyway. Y'all already know so it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, when you hear Ryan say, it was my inexperience, I should have did this, yeah, that's always what they say after they lose. I should have did this, I should have been more aggressive, I should have did. You had no answers in that ring because your brain and your body couldn't produce anything different from what you've been used to doing. And I said, for Ryan to beat Tank, is going to have to be a different Ryan, not this Ryan that I've seen already. I don't know what y'all see, but I don't see this Ryan beating Tank. Best case scenario is he catch Tank with some shit. Tank just don't see it coming and he just happen to knock him out. And we all know Tank can take a punch. So my whole thing with all of that, everybody, oh, he hits way harder than Rolly and he does this and Rolly hits harder than Tank and Ryan hits harder than Tank. You want to know what's so crazy? Ryan didn't look faster than Tank in that ring to me. And everybody that kept saying Tank is faster is somewhat like a Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather situation. Mayweather doesn't throw a lot of punches. He pinpoints his shots, and at times he will throw a flurry here and there. But if you watch when he was, before he started calling himself Money Mayweather, when he's calling himself Pretty Boy Floyd, that's when he was more of a combination puncher. I don't see Pacquiao being faster. I see that he throws more combinations, and he throws them fast. So basically, he has that appearance of being faster when they fought. Did he look faster than Floyd then? And his ways to nullify speed. And like I said, it doesn't really matter who's faster. You don't have to be faster than that person. You just have to be fast enough. Okay? To disturb what they're doing. And then, again, Tank has that dog in him. Can we say that we ever seen a fight with Ryan showed a dog in him? No. He just seen him get knocked down against Luke Campbell. And he got back up. Just think of all the times when you guys were saying, Tank struggled to beat Gamboa. Oh, man, Tank can't beat nobody. Ryan, remember that, right? Yeah, Ryan will destroy this guy. Teofimo will destroy this guy. And then y'all said he could beat Haney because Haney can't punch. Remember that, right? The same thing is when people were saying Ryan Garcia wasn't good enough to beat Tank. He gonna lead 2 or 3 fights first, right? Now you see how without Ryan getting in the ring doing anything, just for him doing social media stuff, and as far as him hitting pads and stuff and showing hand speed, just like that, y'all change your mind, and all of a sudden this became a 50-50 fight. Now I ain't gonna lie, I think Ryan gonna win, yo, Ryan, this and this. Wait a minute. He hasn't had a fight since you guys said he's gonna need a couple of fights before he get in there with Tank. And this was after the Javier Fortuna fight. So, again, when you hear Floyd say his followers come from YouTube stuff, social media, Tank followers come from the boxing world, okay? This is what I'm talking about. People will pump your head up and try to make you think you're better than what you are. Ryan Garcia has a lot of potential. And to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, just his facial expressions, he didn't say these exact words, but you know what I was thinking about when I was watching him? You remember how Golden Boy remember how Victor Ortiz was pumping him up to be the next big thing, right? Remember he got his ass whooped the first time? And he said, I don't deserve to be getting beat up like this, getting punished like this, taking this kind of punishment. And I was like, if he meant that as a joke, that wasn't funny. And the fact that you just got your ass beat by a guy that you was supposed to win against, well, could it be that this guy was better than you thought, or you're just not as good as everybody thought? And after that loss, Victor Ortiz pretty much, he wound up to go on and win a championship after that, and Floyd took his belt. But it's just the simple fact that Victor Ortiz basically was that guy under that Golden Boy umbrella that they wanted to, he's the guy. And look at how that fight went. And all the excuses about Floyd did him dirty. He did him dirty after he got headbutt in the mouth. And then the ref, time. And your corner want to keep talking like a dumbass you shouldn't have did looking at your corner instead of keeping your eyes on your opponent. The ref, Floyd didn't do nothing wrong. The ref did his thing and backed up. You wanted to keep, and Floyd baited you in like he's going to hug you and he knocked the shit out you. You deserved it. Yeah, another Golden Boy fighter. And I'm looking at Ryan, I'm sitting there looking at him and I'm like, yeah, see, he thought he wanted this fight. Now he realizes that, nah, man, you know what, damn, whether he says it or not, he's not on Tank's level fully. He fought good enough to last as long as he did. Tank is a smart fighter, and I told you, Tank is fast on his feet. He knows how to get around. He lures you in. He baits you to think that he's scared of your power. He's not scared. He's waiting. He's baiting you. He's seeing what you're doing, what you're reacting to, how you're reacting, and what you're not reacting to. And he's setting up what he's going to do. And he said he's going to get him out of there in 6 or 7 rounds. That's what wound up happening. Right? So think of what all is going through Ryan's head. This is why I'm saying all this shit, though. Not even so much the part about Victor Ortiz and all that as far as Ryan, but just think. All of what happened going through his head, and that man sat there. Now, yeah, it just goes to show you in business, again, Floyd's been telling you guys, it's about his family, and it's about having generational wealth to take care of his family, and the people that love you, that's who won't beat in the end. Yeah, think about the statement in that. Ryan sat there with his dad and his mom. Now, this guy Gomez is there, but just saying, family was there. When these business partners, when these fans and everybody turn their back on you, that's who's still going to be there. So maybe even in that, there's something that Ryan can take that will uplift him where he can go forward with his career and not have to deal with leeches. And here's the crazy part. He had words with Tank because they were the ones fighting, right? And they're going back and forth. And then Tank is over there hugging his mom, his dad. You understand? He's getting more love from Tank than his own freaking team. You understand what I'm saying? People, if we see this and we understand this, Ryan has to. His dad, his mom, they have to. But see, in terms of business, well, it's up to Ryan what he's going to do. And I'm saying, Ryan, I wouldn't trust him. I'd stay as far away from Golden Boy as possible. In fact, there was a time, remember when Ryan was telling Oscar, if you don't believe in me, let me out my contract then. Let me go. If you don't want to, because he wanted to fight. And I'm not saying that Oscar's wrong for wanting Ryan to want a fight or two before he fought Tank, but you're clearly saying, I don't think you're ready. So now if you're mad because Ryan wanted to get in there with Tank, well, who the fuck is to say because he fought 2 other fights before he fought Tank that he was going to beat Tank? These guys are not Tank. So that doesn't mean, see, this is what I'm saying. Even when people, he should have got another fight or 2. Against who? Who is he going to fight that's going to emulate Tank? And he's going to go in there all of a sudden just a sharper fighter because he fought 2 more Johnny-come-lately meatballs and then all of a sudden he's ready for Tank. I don't give a fuck if he fought 5 more guys. I think we get the same result. As far as him learning and no. See, the thing is this. Ryan thought his size and his power and his speed, those 3 things alone was going to be too much for Tank. Just like Rolly. They depend on being bigger and thinking that they're stronger than Tank. And they go in there and feel his power, and all of a sudden they start feeling real different about their chances. And you see what happened. He made one do the stinky leg, and the other was, took a knee. I bow to you, sir. Just saying. It's always easy to talk that shit from the outside. But for De La Hoya and Bernard and all them, they should have understood. If y'all really felt like he wasn't ready, y'all was talking mega shit. Now, your team, okay, your PR, they can fucking bury you just as much as your opponent can. Overselling shit. So what I said, I'll say it again. I think for Ryan, he needs to just think about who he wants to align himself with and how dedicated he is going to be to this sport, and understand it's a dog eat dog world for real. And people lose their life in that ring. And you need to know, fighting against the elite, especially, that shit can happen. So you have to be ready to go through the trenches. And like I said, can we ever say we saw Ryan have a fucking dog fight like that? No, we can't. So to think that somehow he was just going to all of a sudden come in and have some shit that Tank wasn't ready for, based on what? The last fight he had was against Javier Fortuna, which is what made everybody come to the conclusion he wasn't ready for Tank. You see, boxing is a cutthroat business. And the people involved, they're all businessmen. They just want to get paid. They want to keep you healthy. They want to see you healthy, because what's best for you, if what's best for you is best for business, then they are all for it. So where does he go from here? He said he wants to go to 140. Well, if he goes to 140 like he's saying, he's going to have to work his way up at 140. What he did say in the post conference is they asked him, did he feel weight drain? And you know what Ryan should have really said was, listen, man, I took the fight. I was fine. I went in there. The better man won. What Ryan said was, well, you know, he didn't really feel that strong, and he didn't feel like his legs was really there. But once he got going, he was okay. Wrong answer, Ryan. Because you go to 140, you might wind up getting knocked the fuck out by somebody who you're supposed to beat. And what you going to say then? Because you already said you feel more natural at 140. That's the same thing that Teofimo Lopez said, which is why I say, if that's the case, then you don't have to fucking take tune-ups. You can go in there and just, hey, let's go. So this boxing monopoly, it's good to sit back and just look at what's going on. Be humble, be focused, and understand what you're getting yourself into. Because I'm going to say, again, Hopkins, De La Hoya, and Goosen did that man dirty. They should have been there with him. Win, lose, or draw. Plain and simple. They should have been there with him. I mean, goddamn. And for Goosen to be the trainer in the corner. I mean, so what was they doing so important that they couldn't come? So that's my thing. So based on Bernard Hopkins, his BS story, they didn't want to make this a circus. They didn't want to make this about them. Yeah, well, we know that that's garbage. And we know that what happened with Ryan is happened with many fighters before him, and is going to continue to happen to other people. We've seen it happen to Chris Colbert not too long ago, where a guy looks promising and people start talking about him, and then all of a sudden they lose. And the difference with Chris Colbert was he lost to a guy that he was expected to dust off. So same thing I'm saying about Ryan. You can end up going to 140 and losing to someone that you're supposed to win against, right? At least on paper. So everybody think that, yeah, okay, let him showcase his skills. Let's see what he's looking like. You know, Ryan, I told you guys, and I'll say it again, okay? He's a basic boxer that has flash and flair with fast hands and power. Okay? Being a basic boxer doesn't mean you're not good. But the discipline that you need to have to go with that. Look at Bevel. Look at Bevel. You know, so when I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, okay, well, I don't see him really beating Tank unless Tank just makes stupid mistakes. Really, I just didn't see him beating Tank. Now, just think about it. People started saying the real fight is going to be Haney versus Tank. So now you guys are admitting to yourself that, nah, Ryan wouldn't beat Haney. Now, it's not about because you lose to one guy, you'll automatically lose to another guy. But see, you guys don't understand. Haney can fucking box, man. He can fucking box. And he's up there in height with, Ryan is 5'10". I don't think Haney's 5'10", but he's at least around 5'9". So he's right there. He's like right there with him. So bottom line is, it's about skills, man. It's about skills. And after watching that fight, do you really think that even if Tank was to beat Haney, do you think he beat him, like he did Ryan? You don't think Haney puts a better fight up than Ryan did? Just think about it, right? And that's the thing about boxing, because you go from one thing to the next and people start changing their minds. Well, we're going to see what happens with Lomachenko and Haney. And people already making excuses about Loma's age. Loma ain't been in the ring in a while. It's like, yeah, that's because y'all feel scared that he's going to lose. And y'all already making excuses. Listen, at the end of the day, like I said, even if Ryan won, it don't matter. Tank may very well be the best in the division, but he's not the man until he beats Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson, same thing. All right, came up, he had his one fight at the division already. And look, at the end of the day, what's so funny is this. Shakur Stevenson and Haney are so similar. And neither one of them got crazy powers. So I don't know where they come talking about like Shakur, Shakur. Shakur is a lot like Haney. Two boxers. And Shakur's not going in there just destroying people with knockout blows. No, he outboxed guys. He set them up. Accumulation of punches. And yeah, he can get you out of there. But just saying, same thing. So what is it going to take Shakur to do for people to start turning their back on him? Because this is just the way the fans go. So if Ryan does go to 140 like he's saying, and he feels good there and he stays there and he has success there, more power to him. But this 135 division, it still comes down to the simple fact that after Haney beats Loma, does Haney go to 140? And he said it depends on how he feels, come fight night, because basically he is big for 135. So he may very well go to 140. And if that's the case, there'll be no Haney versus Tank. So if anything, you'll wind up getting Shakur versus Tank at some point, which I think is still a solid fight. But they will both wind up getting belts that Haney had to relinquish because he went up in weight, if that happens. If that's what it turns into. So we don't know. But right now, we already had Tank versus Ryan. And so who wouldn't want to see Shakur versus Haney? Or Haney versus Tank, Shakur versus Tank, whatever. Who wouldn't want to see it? So for the people that's like, oh man, but boxing is boring, I like brawlers. That's too bad for you, because until the brawlers figure out how to beat the boxers other than just getting the knockout, well, that's what it is. So I always say, I don't know how these explosive guys let boring fighters beat them. Because if you're boring, that means I'm in there messing around and letting you survive. Nah, I'm going to get you the fuck out of there. Simple. So, again, I just thought about so many things when I was sitting there looking at Ryan and Tank sitting on that stage. And they buried the hatchet. But, Oscar's not ready to bury the hatchet with Floyd. And I mean, this is the same. They don't want a circus, but you know what's so funny? Oscar De La Hoya talks about Floyd every chance he gets. Oscar's sitting up here talking about, you're the same man that was dressed in drag, sitting up here talking about how Floyd is broke. Floyd is doing exhibitions because, I watched him contradict himself. He said that he's tainting his legacy and all this shit. And in the same fucking interview, they asked him that it was a rumor that Conor and Canelo wanted to fight. Oh, we can make the fight. Wait, you just said that that's a fucking disgrace. Huh? What Floyd is doing but by fighting Conor, and this is before the fight actually happened. It was in the works. But then when Canelo name comes up, all of a sudden y'all can make the fight. And another thing, the same way how you're sitting up here talking about, Ryan needed another at least two fights before he fought, 2 or 3 fights before he fought Tank. It's not like Tank gonna sit around and wait for him. But were you that confident in Canelo? Because I remember you telling Canelo, like, yeah, come on, man, you got this, man. And he was smiling and everything. Oh, yeah, you was, oh, well, I mean, I never seen Oscar smile so much in my life, man. Till the end of that fight happened. Huh? And what was his excuse? His inexperience, right? Same shit y'all just said about motherfucking Ryan. Now, how old is Ryan? 24? How old is Tank? 28? 4-year difference, that's all. That's all. That's why it looks even more stupid when people say that, because how old was Floyd? 37? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but when Floyd fights somebody that's 37, y'all call them old. Somehow Floyd was still young. Just saying. Every time you keep going up against Floyd one way or another, they keep beating Golden Boy. And it's always an excuse for the fighters. It was more experience, more explosiveness, more power, more all-around skills versus flash and flare and potential. Can't say shit about it. How old was Leonard and Hearns when they fought? 24, 23, something like so. Same thing. And that was considered a super fight. I didn't see this as a super fight. I saw this as a skilled little man, an all-around skilled little man that don't get credit for his boxing ability. Because he gets the knockouts, that's what people just keep knockout artists. They overlook his boxing and his IQ. Versus a guy who has popularity. That's how I saw this. Like, Ryan has the potential. He's not he's not a bum. But he's going to have a lot of pressure on him to look good in his next fight. Because he's being labeled as a quitter. All right, simple. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, I just feel like that was disgraceful and disgusting what they did to Ryan, man. That wasn't called for. And if I saw Ryan face to face right now, I would tell him, keep your fucking head up, man. You lost the fight. You thought that you were ready. You see the difference in thinking you're ready than knowing you're ready. And the difference comes with experience. You'll feel it. You'll know, like, okay, I'm better now than I was. Not people telling you that to pump your head up, but you'll know. You'll know. You will have that feeling, but you always have to stay focused and stay humble because it's easy to get a big hit. See, and for the people that was, very impressed by the flash and the flare that he has, is what I'm saying. This is a guy who he has the potential, but he's been moved right. All right, he's been moved right. And he wanted that fight. I don't fault him. I don't feel like, no, he should have waited. No, you went in there. It's all about the preparation, the mental toughness, everything. So you don't learn just why you lost physically, but here. And his heart is going to be questioned now. And, people are going to look at that and, yeah, until he comes back in the ring and does something spectacular. And it's not about coming back fighting some C-class and D-class fighting looking spectacular. No. That's just, okay, getting back on track, get the confidence up type of thing or whatever. But other than that, I mean, no. Because at 140, they got some talented fighters there too. And they might not be all that popular, but they got some talented fighters at 140. Let's be real. And it's not going to be no cakewalk. So, I mean, yeah. I'm just picturing in my mind him sitting there with his mom and his dad and this guy Gomez, man. Like, wow, that was disgusting, man. That shit was disgusting. They know damn well they should have been there with him, man. And anyway, y'all, talk to me in the comment section. Never call them other lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.